Alright. What's up, everybody? We've got Onside Gaming Solar in the top right side of the map, and the Team Korea versus Team the World are leading 2-0. But unfortunately, he's tried to go for a 14 hatchery. He doesn't get it down in time, and that's because, let's be real, guys, the non-Koreans are disgusting. Their players have failed. They're down 1 win, 2 losses. They've already lost the GOAT, Cyril, and they've had to dig deep and go towards AI. They are using their technological advantage over Korea, one of the most technological nations in the world, to try and win. They're using a Danish AI by the name of MAXPAX in the bottom left side, representing Storm Gaming. And he is coming in, and honestly, it's very important he wins, because if you look at the lineups, Rainer is not on the lineup for Team World. He declined to play, I assume, and there's still Clem after MAXPAX and Oliveira, which are both great players, but if you compare that to the Korean lineup, they've only lost Kua. They've got Sol. They've still got Dark, Maru, and I'm actually not sure who the 5th player is. I would imagine Beyond, most likely. A bunch of players that... beating those guys in TVT is a problem. Let's put it that way. Not to mention, even winning TvZ versus Solar would be... like, if MAXPAX loses this, Team Korea's up 3-1 with Maru, Dark, and the like still waiting in the wings, and that's a problem. So MAXPAX, he kind of needs to do something special, and the problem is, him against Solar, I would imagine historically is about 50-50. I haven't actually looked at the recent stats between them, but in the past, I feel like half the time he looks really good. He can block Solar. He usually can beat Solar in the late game, but Solar just kills him with so many mid and early game timings, catches him off guard with lots of very good pushes, and is very, very brutal. We'll see how they've both adapted to the new patch, and if there's any Hydralisk timings mixed in. See if the slightly slower lurkers, lower damage broodlords that are a little more mobile make a difference. Will Ultras make an appearance? They are cheaper now. The slightly lower hit point Baneling, and of course Baneling is no longer one-shotting probes until they get +3 attack, not +2 anymore, which is a very big change. Looks like the players had to do another pause there, but they have fixed it up, thankfully. Stargate's on the way. Only 22 drones. Wait, he's doing a Speedling all-in, right? No? Okay, no, he does go back to droning. I was like, man, he's putting 12 Zerglings to defend this double adept pressure. Solar is playing incredibly safe. He's going to need to limit the damage, though. If you build this many Zerglings this early, you really hurt your work account, so you can't be affording to build this many Zerglings and losing a bunch of drones. Oh, good pullback there by Solar. Forces MAXPAX to throw an extra volley out. The Adepts do shade backwards. Happy to force a lot of Zerglings out and leave it at that. Back to droning for Solar. He's got 3 queens out. He's got 3 hatcheries. But, of course, he desperately needs those drones to catch up on the economy. Adept out here is in the front of the wall. Definitely a little vulnerable. Notice MAXPAX probably wants to shuffle that backwards. Uh-oh. Careful, Maxi. Yeah, it's going to go down. Oh, no, Solar doesn't commit. Thought that would be enough surface area to really just commit, take out one Adept, but playing a bit more conservatively, wanting to preserve the Zergling count to deny any future third. But, oh, MAXPAX actually hit a probe down there. So Solar kind of feels like he's got vision of that, but he actually doesn't. Oh, gosh, MAXPAX. Okay, warps in a Stalker. He's going to clear the Overlord if he can and retake position in the wall. First Oracle on the south of the map now coming through. Feels like that first Oracle is a little later than normal. Oh. One more shot. Does get it. Oracle flies in, finds itself a drone kill. Not too bad. Good Spore Trick to save that one, though. Any lava down here or units popping out? And no, he's got to get out. He's got to get out. Adepts are going to shade in here, or walk in, I should say. They shaded in towards the main, cancelled it. They get 3 drones and mining time on the third. This Oracle took a lot of damage. The other Oracle is going to rotate in and says, okay, well, you actually just traded some hit points. I can kill you. But no, MAXPAX doesn't take the fight. That would have been a free queen kill, I believe. I mean, it would have cost a lot of energy, maybe a few hit points, but I do think that would have been worth it. Down here at the third, probe is up for the taking. Clicks on the Nexus, but with the Oracle laser turning on, he has to pull back. Twilight and Forge are on the way. There is a shield battery building in the third base, and this is all on 4 gases off 2 gateways. So you expect him to go to 4 gateways as he's about to. And Zerg on the other side, Solar, just starts to lair now. So no chance for him to do a quick Nidus, super quick Roach Speed attack. Just a solid standard build up for Zerg, who, to be fair, hasn't lost that many drones. I think he's doing quite all right. He's now got a Spore Crawler up on each base, and actually it's the main and the third that are most vulnerable. You want to avoid these mobile queens wherever they are. So he's going to rotate around the left, but the Overlords see it. Easy to move those queens in position. But look, he can see where the queens are. He doubles back. Solo's a little slow to respond. These Oracles are going to go ham right now. They're looking for the opening, and they are going to find at least 1 or 2 drones. But, oh, you don't want to lose the Oracle. Oh, man. Oh, me, oh, my. Turns off those lasers. Goes back in, turns the laser back on that one. Does grab 2 more workers, but at what cost? His Oracles, 2 of them deep in the red. These guys can no longer dive the mineral lanes. They need to be kept for defense duty. And there's 2 Adepts down the bottom. Now, if you see the Lings on your side of the map, those Adepts should shade in because you know there's no units at home. But for now, he doesn't see that those Lings are coming. Blink Stalkers on the way, 5th and 6th gateways, as well as a 2nd Forge. It's the double Forge style. I've been pretty vocal about generally disliking the double Forge style. It does have its place. Its strength is that over time it scales crazily well. The reason I don't particularly like it is I feel that you are much weaker to a lot of timing attacks. The longer the game goes, the more it pays off. But I feel like if you're playing as MAXPAX versus Solar, your biggest weakness is making it past the first 12 minutes of the game. And guess what? Double Forge does not pay off until about 15 minutes in the game. You could argue maybe 10 minutes, you get a little bit of value, but not very much. Adept Shade does come in. It's going to take out 2 drones. Good transfuse there as well, making sure no more goes down. So, I mean, this first upgrade is going to kick it on the Forge at what? 8, I guess 2 minutes from now, 9 minutes. So 9 minutes you get your first upgrade, which is okay, but it's not the most impactful. It's really once you get +2 armor, +3 attack, that's when it really starts to kick up. Now, interestingly, Solar's just making Roach Hydra. It's an old school style, and normally it's good for swarming in the early middle stages. He doesn't have an infestation yet, no sign of Hive. That being said, there's 72 workers. If Solar can get control of this area and push this attack back, he'll be in a good spot. Queens are doing very well here. The Stalkers are getting low. MAXPAX needs to pull back. His Stalkers have lost all their shields now. He needs to pull back. It's about to stay too long, and just on the edge of staying too long, he pulls back at the perfect moment. Says, okay, take 30 seconds. Let the shields regen. Oh, careful. Careful, mate. He's trying to keep up the pressure, but you have to be very wary. Now that Hydra's here, especially much higher damage units, still hasn't lost a Stalker, and that is kind of wild. 2-1 upgrades on the way. More gateways coming in. 4th Nexus is on the way behind this. It's not far behind this area, so MAXPAX has been exceptional with his micro so far. And it's nothing but Roach Hydra. There's no infestation. There's no Hive. 1 Hydra upgrade's done. The 2nd one is on the way. And these Stalkers trying to hang on as best they can, and they are doing very well so far. Still not... Only 1 Stalker has died for 8 Roaches, 30 Zerglings. Okay, that's kind of disgusting trading right there. And this is an unfortunate position. Going Roach Hydra, it's hard to, like, overwhelm this army. MAXPAX overcommits there, loses 3 Stalkers very quickly. Stasis Traps hold back the Zerg. Thinks about blinking forward to punish. That would be a crazy move, MAXPAX. Keep it in your pants, mate. Oh, he wanted to catch those units as they came out of the stasis. Nice. Meanwhile, Zealots in the top, Warp Prism in the main. Oh, he's done a very good job, has MAXPAX. Let's see, Zealots warping in the main. Stalkers skirmishing in the bottom right now. He's got Zealots coming in on top of the Queens and the Hydras down there. MAXPAX dancing in 3 places at once. Absolutely doing very well. He's even going to save some Zealots in the main, get them out. But oh no, Solar's 3rd mineral line is gone. It's gone. And the Hydras are chasing off creep. The Stalkers might even be able to blink on top there. MAXPAX just going to pull those back for now. Play it a bit more conservatively, but the Prism's still alive. 16 drones have fallen. The Stalkers taking some fantastic trades. The units lost up is almost 2-1. And you know what? In a game like this, where I guess MAXPAX just out-macroed Solar, the double Forge is going to start to look fantastic, because 2-2 is going to be kicking in a few minutes. And it is absolutely amazing. Oh, Roach Hydra start to kill a few of these units, but their numbers are crumbling. There's nothing left there. There's nothing left there. Zealots warp in it on the top at the same time. And that looked clean, simple, and straightforward. Felt like Solar maybe over-droned a little bit, maybe took a bit too much damage early on. And MAXPAX taking advantage of the fact that Solar had a style that just, like, you could be like, well, what could Solar do to defend? Nothing with that army. If he got Infestors out, he can shut those down. If he has a bigger army and he can split half of it around this left side and sandwich the units from over here, he could do something about it. If he goes for a heavy Ling force, he can set off stasis traps easily and surround it. But going Roach Hydra, looks like Solar needed to stop a little bit lower on workers if he wants to rely on Roach Hydra against that. Really nicely played by MAXPAX to take game 1. All right, a nice game 1 victory there for Maximus down here in the bottom right side. He's sending a probe across very early. Is he going to go 13 pylon? Oh me, oh my. No, he's going to go 14 pounds. So he's trying to once again get the block off and stop Solar from getting that hatchery up, even if he goes 14 hatch. So Solar tried to go 14 hatchery in that last game. Now 15-15 is simply the better build order. But because Solar and Dark aren't super used to that build yet, they prefer to go Overlord into hatchery and then try to do it. But I think he gets blocked again, right? Unless MAXPAX waited a few seconds too long with this probe, which, oh, he might have. Oh, he barely gets it. Oh, my lord. Okay, so Solar barely gets the hatchery down. MAXPAX, if he sent that probe just 1 or 2 seconds earlier, then he would have blocked it. So that's actually, it was a really big win in game 1, because this is a terrible build order for Solar if you get blocked. It really sucks. Because you delay building 2 drones for like a good 10 seconds. It's very awkward, man. But if you get the hatchery down, they send a really early probe, you feel pretty good as the Zerg. So as much as I think 15 hatchery, 15 pool is just a better version of an opening to get your hatchery down, this is a good start. Whereas game 1 started well for MAXPAX, and I should have brought it back to that. Having your natural blocked and delaying drones, so you try to get a 14 hatch, don't get it down. It feels terrible as the Zerg player. This opening should be smoother for Solar, and a big part of Zerg vs Protoss is about the openings. So a lot of people don't realize this. They go, oh man, ZVP always just wins in one really one-sided fight for one guy or the other. Like, what the hell? It's all about the early game. This matchup, everyone at a high level knows that there are games where they shut down those adepts, they deflect the oracles with minimal losses, they do spore tricks to save drones at the last second, and they get a good start, and they're able to do a lot and get momentum and get control and really do a lot in the mid game. And there's games like the last one where it's like, okay, you didn't take too much damage, but, you know, your hatchery got blocked. You are on the back foot a bit. You are losing a lot of mining time. And then this attack comes and you're just kind of pinned by it. You just don't quite have the numbers or the tech to deal with it. And you just slowly get picked apart. And you're like, oh, it felt like I didn't have a lot of agency in that particular scenario. But I think that's why you do want to sometimes go for compositions that can get you back in games. Pure Roach Ravager, Heavy Roach Ravager Zergling are both comeback styles. Infestors are very good comeback units against Blinkstalker heavy styles. Roach Hydra is not really a comeback style. When you get Lurkers out, yes, it is very good for making good defensive holds because Lurkers wreck gateway units. But until that point, it is a bit tough. Now, it is once again double chrono on the Adept for MAXPAX. So he's favoring an aggressive style against Solar. All right, Adept's coming forward. Queen is marching out. All right, we got Link Speed on the way for MAXPAX, though. He's just going for 2 Adepts. Doesn't start a third one yet. Oh, he's going to start a super quick third Nexus. What? Is he getting... Oh, my lord, 3-minute third Nexus. Has he pulled off gas? He hasn't even pulled off gas. Oh, my lord. Okay. MAXPAX with a cool build order that he might get punished by something if, like, a big pack of Lings comes across the map. We'll see what happens, guys. Okay. 3 Zerglings go down. Adepts get out. It's a really good start for MAXPAX so far because he's forcing 12 plus Zerglings out. And he's gone, killed a few of them. And the Adepts are surviving. Almost gets a drone, not quite. First Oracle's almost out. He doesn't have a third Adept, so I think it's a good choice to pull back here. And that Pylon is going to finish just in time. He built it up there on the back of the natural. Getting such a quick third is actually really good for like an Oracle Charge opening. I think Oracle Charge, Hero is the only guy who does it, but oh man, it is brutal. If you surprise your opponent with a good amount of Oracles and Charge slots, it's so good. You just keep building Oracles off 1 Stargate non-stop. You go for like 5-gate charge, and a lot of these heavy Zergling styles get savaged by it. Oracle chases the Zerglings off. We'll have to turn its laser beam off. He's leaving it on for now just to make the Zerglings run away, but... Oh, MAXPAX. Okay, there we go. Finally turns the laser off. These Zerglings could be a nuisance. Only gets a single Zergling. There's a lot of energy being used just to keep these Zerglings back, and notice the lack of spores. Solar's playing very greedy because he's seen that third Nexus and he's like, whoa, you greedy. I'm going to drone up. I'm going to skip Spore Crawlers. I'm going to be like super greedy here. But that does mean he's a little undefended if those Oracles find an opening in the near future. He's doing a good job of Ling pressuring. MAXPAX is ahead on the probes though. Twilight Council is on the way. He hasn't gone for a Forge just yet. MAXPAX is playing a 3-gas style. Queen's here. If he can thread the needle through the middle, maybe, but no. Gonna have to pull back and regen those shields for now. Oracle going down the left side. Perfect defense so far. Stalker on the high ground doing well. He's showing multiple Stalkers. I was going to say it could be a fake, and he actually maybe goes for a blink. I think, did he just get a drone? No. Fourth base goes up in the middle. Oracle comes in the left, only gets a single drone. He's not really able to find any big damage. He cancels blink and makes... I was going to say, yeah, this I feel like charge is way better off this opening. He now goes charge and gateways, but he doesn't have a forge, which means he won't have +1, which means Zerglings actually do okay versus Zealots. But he's going Templar Archives. Sorry, he's going fourth gas. Depths get surrounded by Zerglings. This is like really good control on the Lings. Templar Archives is going to go down in a moment, guys. So we're going up to 8 gateways. There should be Templar Archives. He's going Robo. He needs... I don't know, man. The Robo seems too late. Robo gets spotted by the Zerglings. Solar seems to see what's going on. You need a Warp Prism with this. You need a Templar Archives. You need to go with Mass Zealot Archon, and you need to go soon. There's a Spire on the way. Solar's like, yeah, this doesn't actually feel like a Blinkstalker build. He's like, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to go Mutas. And now Double Forge starts. Ooh, MAXPAX looks a little bit directionless in this game, guys. I really feel that this is turned into a scenario where... What's he got? He's got 8 gateway charge, but he's not doing any pressure with it. I guess he's making a few zealots, so he's maybe thinking about going across, but it's not really going to have any oomph to it. He's got a delayed robo, no blink. He's going 6 gases, double forge. He's basically just camping on double upgrades, and Solar has all the information he needs. He's just going to make around a mutas, fly around the back killing workers, and then overwhelm with Ravager Bane. And some Oracle Zealot will come forwards. Solar, I think, has enough warning of this to deal with it quite well. Zergling's just distracting. He does trade a few Zerglings there, but he's buying time for himself, which is the most important thing. Oracles are going to gather up. These Zealots getting surrounded. Remember, no upgrades for the Zealots just yet. Oh, Zealots are going to get on top of the Queens. That's actually pretty nice. Oracles could dive in there with their lasers as well to do some more damage. Seems like he's going mostly for stasis traps. Now he turns on some lasers as well. Ooh, that Oracle, if it survives, that'd be great. He kills almost all the Queens, but more Queens do come down. More Zealots coming in. MAXPAX finding surprising damage with this. Solar may have been too greedy, going to 75 workers. Did I call this too early? It felt like this MAXPAX timing made no sense, but I did say earlier that Solar's a very logical player. He cannot beat Hero consistently because Hero is impossible to read because none of his builds make sense. I was confused by MAXPAX's build, and Solar seemed to be caught off guard by it. Despite that, he saves his workers. He only loses 3 drones. Units lost tab, not too negative for him. And usually anything close to positive trades, or even 50-50 trades with the Protoss is amazing for the Zerg. It's up 6 workers. The Zealot Archon gathering. There's a Void Ray building. A second Robo building. So worried about Roaches right now is MAXPAX, but this is a distraction. It's the Mutalisks building in the backside that's going to be the real issue. Void Ray gets cancelled, Phoenix gets started. Zealots running in for a run by. They spot the Mutalisks in the top. Building a second Stargate as well. This is such a bad position to be as MAXPAX because he's got 2 Forges, 2 Robos, 8 Gateways, now 2 Stargates, and a Robo Bay, and a Templar Archives, and a 4th base. He has every single piece of production, every upgrade structure, and 1 of every unit. Unfortunately, guys, 1 of every unit does not beat a lot of just some units, and that's... Solar has more direction. He's got more of a focus. Oh my god, MAXPAX just killed his own pylon and depowered his own production there. I don't know, I can't imagine that was on purpose because he hadn't started building pylons yet. His Immortals just killed his own pylon. His Immortal was trapped up there, so maybe it was on purpose, I guess? I mean, the Immortal was trapped. He completely walled himself off with the Forge, the pylon, and the second Robo. This is a bit of a disaster. On the other hand, Solar's taking a bit long to push. Solar's not committed much with the Mutas. He's just waiting for a Mass Ravager Baneling timing. So MAXPAX's job here is to turtle and then take the best 3-base defensive engagement of all time, and then take a very slow 4th base. And he's basically just got to cross his fingers that Solar doesn't make a Hive and Broodlords, because Broodlords are a checkmate. Lurkers, probably a checkmate as well. And MAXPAX is going to try and take that 4th base, but the numbers differential is so massive. When Baneling speed's done, he might even go before +2 melee. We're going to see about 100 Roaches, Zerglings, and Banelings just coalesce on his position and annihilate him. There's still Phoenix number 6 building. 6 Phoenix should be enough to take out these Mutalisks. They should absolutely try to move out and hunt down those Phoenix if possible. Hunt down those Mutalisks, I should say, and then start picking off Ravagers. Because you want to deal with that before the fight starts if possible. MAXPAX there, you could see his Phoenix are on control group 2, his other army on control group 1. Fourth base is super exposed out here. He has no splash damage that can be cast like Storm or Disruptors that could ruin. It's just Colossus Archon, which is good, but not that great. 5 probes go down. He also loses the Nexus, has to get cancelled. A lot of Banelings get frozen by stasis traps. You're going to have to leave a bunch of Archon Colossus on the right. I love the Zealot run by to try and buy time. He's cleaned up the Mutalisks now, or at least forced them back, so he's going to start to take down these Ravagers. But look at that. Biles take down 2 Phoenix! Solar chucking a Dark there. Goes the Hail Mary Biles and starts absolutely punching him in the jangle, man. Zealot's going down. Looks like you got a couple Ravagers, but for 2 Phoenix, not the greatest trade. Corruptors are coming out now as well. Solar's going Lair Tech, just Swarm style. And he's going to try and use Corruptors to deal with those Colossus, which is a great idea. Phoenix going to try and do what they can. Muta's not the best unit against them. Solar's not ready to say goodbye to his Mutalisks just yet. I wouldn't mind him sending them around the back and just picking off some probes, losing them to the cannons. 2-2R upgrades are on the way from MAXPAX. Solar's taking way longer than he should. I mean, I really feel he could have gone Mass Muta in this game. I think he could have pushed a little bit harder. Just denying the 4th is good, but you need to get rid of this army. That is the win condition here for Solar. If he doesn't go for the army, he could lose this game. You want to go for these bases to lure his army into the open, and then you want to sandwich him from 2 sides. But Solar seems to have lost sight of the main win condition in ZVP, which is you go for the economy, but that is not the win condition. That lures the Protoss army into the open where you can engage them. It's killing the army that wins you ZVP, because otherwise, it doesn't matter how small their economy is. People will be like, oh man, I keep killing bases, but Protoss is so BS. They just keep making... How do they still have such a big army when I keep killing their bases? And I'm like, did you ever kill any of their military units? And they're like, well, I killed a Zealot one time. So basically what happened is you killed bases for 20 minutes straight. He was still mining money during that time. And then he made a maxed out army, and you never dealt with it. We all know the rule of Protoss is their army gets out of control if you let it max out. And Solar has made absolutely that mistake right now. He's still on Roach, Ravager, Lingbane, Corruptor. He might have the numbers to do it, but this is way closer than it has any business being. Solar is going to come in with a flank. The Banelings splash into the Archons. The Colossus and Archons trying desperately to hang on. It's a good idea to push around this time here as MAXPAX, but because his Archons are mostly gone, I worry that there's going to be those Corruptors just destroying those Colossus now. Not much support left. Biles did almost take out the Immortal. 1 Colossus falls. Another one is going down. MAXPAX doesn't have that many units here. He's trying to overwhelm. It's so bloody close. He needs to get rid of those last Corruptors. But man, extra Lingbane coming in. The remax here for Solar very quick. And man, this is insanely close, but I think Solar just barely has the numbers because MAXPAX can't really afford to replace those units. He's building nothing but Zealots. His 4th base is up, but he's down 20 workers. And Solar gets it done. Solar definitely took longer, I think, to force these army versus army trades than he should have. And he made that very uncomfortable for himself. Apparently, he biled the Moving Observer there. Good catch from the Twitch chat. Disruptors are building, Archons, and Archon Disruptor, not a bad call here against this ground army, but feels like Solar's income advantage should be enough for him to overwhelm. A couple Disruptor shots can always change that, though. Solar traded 3,500 resources less efficient so far this game. But remember, he's denied that 4th for so long. It's only really just started mining now. Workers have transferred from the main and the natural. 3rd base can start transferring 1 or 2 workers as well. Infestation's on the way, so Solar is going to go towards that hive tech. Uh-oh. He's coming forward. It's not spotted. Oh god, MAXPAX army is way out of position right now. Oh, he's way out of position, man. Good choice to run the probes, but I don't know if they get out of there. Oh, man. Okay, looks like they will escape for now, but... Oh, he's going to run all the probes from that base. Banelings roll in and do get cleaned out. Nexus is taking damage, but it doesn't actually die. Dude, if MAXPAX wins this game, Solar will be very demotivated. Got to keep your eyes on the prize as a Zerg player, and it's eliminating the Protoss army. You can do that with Hive Tech, or you can do it by luring it into the open and getting big surrounds. Zealots take out the Spine Crawler, but they do get defended there. There's a few Creep Tumors. Oh! Big Disruptor shot! Gets 3 or 4 Ravagers. Saves the Disruptors and starts getting out of there. Oh, he can do some good starter step here. I don't think this is a good chase for Solar. This is a terrible fight for Solar. Solar is taking some awful engagements. He's so far out on supply, I don't know if it matters. Hive coming in. Vipers will be game changers. If he can abduct the Disruptors, that'll be amazing. Doesn't really have any mobile anti-air. It's mostly just Mass Roach Ravager right now. I always talk about Solar being the Brick Master. The downside of always killing people in the mid-game is when your opponent puts up enough resistance and you are just, you know, you're a player who almost never goes Hive in a quick succession. You're almost always trying to kill them with a fast layer timing. He's not as good as someone like Serral, who I think with the advantage he had in this game, Serral would have made a Hive. He would have had Lurkers or Broodlords out by now, and it would have looked trivial to clean up, you know, the MAXPAX on 3 base, but he still can do it. He's got a massive numbers advantage, right? Like, it's not like he's losing this game. It just still looks competitive when I thought it was over several minutes ago. Good battery overcharge here. Nicely done. You don't really want to be investing your money in Stalkers, though. Greater Spire's on the way, and it is spotted. So I think MAXPAX has his whole strategy made up for him now, guys. And that is, you need to go sometime in the next minute. If you don't push within the next minute, you're dead. If you want to make 2 more Disruptors, go for it. But you make those Disruptors and you move across this map right now. Remember, the 2-2 upgrades for Protoss actually make a big difference as well. The more you dilly-dally, the more those upgrades had time to kick into effect as well. That's something I didn't talk about much earlier, but I probably should have. That Observer on the right side getting some good vision. He should probably chase that army down just with his Stalkers, I would say. He's going to go for a Zealot drop in the back. But if he doesn't get a move on, Broodlords are here in about a minute's time. MAXPAX needs to push out very soon. Archons moving to that right side. Zealot drop comes in, gets cleaned up. Army is nicely split for Solar. Prism is going to just have to hide. Oh, he's going to lose that. Oh, bad pathing. Ouch. Does lose the Prism. Oh, flanking Disruptor shots. Oh my god. 15 kills and 18 kills between those 2 Disruptors. Dude, his Disruptor usage has been fantastic. Unfortunately, he's lost his Warp Prism and he needs to go. If he doesn't go, then he's relying... Then he needs to add Storm and rely on Blink Stalkers to kill the Broodlords, which it could work. It absolutely could work. Zealot's running in the left, but Solar is nearby with his army. Should be able to respond to that. This is so many Archons. 12 Archons, 2 Disruptors. Archons, battery overcharge, going to try and defend here. They can't get healed while they're morphing in. Oh no, they can't get healed while they're morphing in. That base is getting ransacked. Nicely done there by Solar. There are 5 Broodlords out with 4 more making. That top right base will go down. Baneling's rolling into this one. These guys do not have +3 melee, but it doesn't matter if there's more than 2. Oof. It's a lot of probes going down on the right side. A single Zergling causing havoc over there as well. It's going to come down to army versus army up here. But MAXPAX should have pushed pre-Greater Spire. He did not, and now those Broodlords are going to stand in his way. You can defend a Broodlord attack off creep, but this deep on creep, I don't know if you can get much done here. He's thinking about going for it. He does blink forward, but he doesn't have enough Stalkers to really ham this out. Loses a few Stalkers for just 1 Broodlord there, and that's a big problem, man. Look at that. Lings deny his 5th base. He's down to just 24 workers right now. Oh! That was a nice Archon volley on the Lings. But Solar's still on 51 drones. He's still got this base mining, a bit of mineral patches there. That base barely survived, which is a disaster. And oh, he manages to kick MAXPAX right in the balls. Both Disruptors go down, which means it's just Archon, Stalkers, and a single Void Ray. I do love the single Void Ray, but there are 4 Queens there. Nice responsible play for Solar. Oh, Stalkers blink forward. They get a Broodlord. Stalker for a Broodlord's always a good trade. +3 attack starting here for MAXPAX. That makes no sense. Oh, it's not starting. It was almost finished, but it got contaminated. Nice play by Solar. Remember, Broodlings are much slower and they do less damage than they used to as well. So I always felt like Stalkers, Archon, Storm could definitely deal with this sort of army, but you need Storm to blanket the Ling Bane. Your Archon's A move, and then your Stalkers blink forward and start focusing the Broodlords. But if without Storm, it's very hard because the Ling Bane will kill your Stalkers so quickly and they can stutter step their Broodlords back. So MAXPAX, I mean, he made this game way closer than it needed to be. I am critical of Solar for letting it happen. Reminds me a little bit of Solar versus Raynor in Pigfest, where he was way ahead with Mutas one game and then he just kind of sat back, maxed out on Ravager Bane, but by the time he hit the Ravager Baneling timing, it was so late that Raynor made an insane comeback and won on Gressman. And that was like a nonsense comeback. Raynor was so dead in that game. But it shows me that there's like ultra defensive and very technically defensive European Protoss players. I think sometimes they catch him off guard, whereas I think Solar's so used to playing against like a hero, who when hero's behind, he's almost always going to try and kill you with some sort of timing attack. He's, oh, just go all in with this. Let's go. And then when like a Protoss just sits there and just camps all game, it's surprising he's not ready for it, because actually he plays Creator a lot of the time. The Creator plays like a European. He turtles his butt off. So I don't know. It's a little weird. Infestor's on the way. I mean, Solar's army is insane. As much as I was critical of that, his early game, his mid game was flawless. I love the way he got into the Mutalisks earlier while defending things. And I just think he's very good at balancing what's going on and kind of reading what MAXPAX is up to. Unfortunately, he hasn't been clearing this Observer. This Observer's seen a lot. MAXPAX roaming around the map there. He's got a double Archon drop. Might try and drop that on top of the Broodlords. With Fungal coming in as well, Fungal counters this whole army. Fungal is amazing. So MAXPAX is going to hang in here and fight this out. But it is looking like Solar will be able to tie up the series. Excuse me. Extra Void Ray is going to do almost nothing. Unless they fight away from Queens. Especially with Neuroparasite. Yeah. You can also get Blinding Cloud. Blinding Cloud, the Archon Stalker, is ridiculous. He's not even bothering, but like, what if he just neurals all the Archons? That'll be so savage, man. So I think Solar's going to enact some psychological warfare, guys. I think he's going to try and Bigger Brother MAXPAX. He's basically going to give him the Combat Wet Willy, where he sticks the Wet Willy into the Archon's ears and says, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?" If you Wet Willy your younger brother with one hand while at the same time grabbing his other arm and slapping himself in the face, it's the most brutal thing you can do as an older brother. And that's exactly what Solar wants to do to MAXPAX. He wants to show that he's the big boy, and MAXPAX is just a little boy you cannot stand against. A nice recall, saves 4 Archons and some probes. That was really cute. He's going to go across the map for an attempted basey tradie. Archon drop there actually kills a bunch of drones. 15 workers going down. Wow. Nicely done, MAXPAX. There's not much that shoots up. Oh, he goes back, gets a few more drones. Nicely done. Those drones do end up hiding over there. Broodlord Infestor army is insane, though. Even if you... I mean, he's replacing it with Zerglings, which is hilarious. Solar's like, okay, you killed my drones. I'll just make even more army. I'm at a 72 army supply advantage. What in the heck, man? The Chad Rays turn on their Prismatic alignment, and they do use Ultra Thick Beam to take down the hatchery. Broodlords are a little exposed, but of course the Infestors are like, no, no, no. Naughty. Oh! Oh, the Broodlords went on A move. The Stalkers are going to blink in. They take out an Infestor, but man. Oh, man. Ow, yow, 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 yow. Not much anti-air there, but the Queens eventually come in and kill the Void Rays, and those Stalkers get annihilated. It's a 34 kill pair of Archons. They may be heroes. They may have fought very well this game. There's now a Corruptor on their tail. It's going to give him a little bit of jellyfish fever with its parasitic spores. Getting hit by most Zerg abilities is pretty disgusting, guys. Do you want to get hit by a volatile burst of acid? Maybe an acid saliva? Maybe a brood... Okay, broodling strikes are pretty... It's basically I'm throwing my baby at you and the impact of it hitting you in the head is doing damage. Nice fungal combos. Where's the neural on the Archons, I'm wondering? He's not even bothering. He doesn't even bother neural the Archons. He's like, screw it. Let's just A move. And Solar ties up the series. Alright. What's up, everybody? We got Onside Gaming Solar in the top left side of the map. And over in the top right, MAXPAX. Now, Solar's going for that... he was going to go for the 14 hatch. But he sees no probe. So he builds 2 more workers and then builds the hatchery. Delays the hatchery by 2 seconds because he loses some mining time. He delays building those drones a little bit. This is such a weird opening because, you know, the fact that he doesn't see a probe and he squeezes more drones in before the hatchery because he scouts so far up front, it's a cute adjustment. I like it. I definitely think 15-15 is better, but I definitely think it's not too bad. You know, like it could be worse for sure. 16 workers on minerals there. Rallying down for the 20 Nexus. Very standard opening for MAXPAX, other than the fact that, well, he hasn't scouted. And that's kind of weird. That's a bit greedy. Did he go gas first as well, I wonder? Gateway timing looks pretty standard. Either way, this is going to give him a very efficient opening for MAXPAX. I think he probably did go gas first. Normally you go gas first if you don't scout, because you've only got 8 mineral patches, and if you leave an extra probe at home, you need extra places to mine from, so the quicker you get the gas up, the better. 3 workers on gas for Solar, rallying the new ones down to his expansion, as you can see, rallying to different sides of the mineral lines to naturally spread those workers out, rallying as Zergling rally to the front. I've recently been looking at a lot of new player and mid-level replays, and I've noticed a lot of Zergs never set this white unit rally point, and it does my head in. I'm like, what? This is so important. I guess a lot of people are actually building good habits with control grouping eggs, so it's not the end of the world, but definitely a weird thing. By the way, oh, this is this little line. What do you guys think this track is here? Is it a power conduit? Does this send Protoss magic around the map? I don't think this is really a Protoss map. This looks more like just a very technological Terran map. It's like an Emogen map or something. I think Emogen is like one of the skin sets where everything looked kind of lots of white, smooth, futuristic looking things. Is that just me or is that a frowny face? Right? You guys see it, yeah? That's the mouth. This is the mouth here. And then it's got like the 2 interned eyes, and these are its little eyebrow dots. That's absolutely a robot. There is a consciousness in there. There is a spirit in there. Anyway, I'll stop theorycraft to grab the maps, but you guys know I'm right. Is this the map that used to have dead bodies on it? Oh, it is! Guys, isn't Equilibrium the map that used to have dead bodies on it? They used to have bodies here and blood everywhere, but I think they removed it because of Blizzard. Oh, this used to be the coolest map. I just realized when it was in Team Liquid map contest, when I looked at this, there was like sick experiments going on these hospital beds around the map. It was so cool. I can't believe they removed it. Mapmaker actually made this map really awesome, and they've sterilized it a little bit, sadly. It is what it is. But, oh, such a cool map before. The last map pool, Babylon, did manage to get a bunch of blood and gore in just on the edges of the map. Oh, ow. Okay, Solar's Oracle takes a lot of damage. I'm going to try and actually commentate the game. I know I've been lazy with my commentary lately. I've been having a lot of fun shooting the shiz and stuff and not commentating the early game as much, but the early game is impactful in StarCraft, so let's talk about it a little bit more and not become one of these commentators who just kind of pushes forward that narrative of nothing ever happens in the early game, because it does, guys. That's a gold base, and it needs to get punished. Now notice Solar's not transferring too many drones down, just a few to start, because he knows that it's very exposed, and he's bringing 2 queens to escort that group. There's a quick third base on the way for MAXPAX, but this map is broken. That's a full 6 minerals and a rich gas. And it's not that hard to defend because it's such a big map. This map is going to be one of the most hated by anyone playing against Zerg. And honestly, I'm a little surprised MAXPAX didn't veto it, but maybe he has some sort of special plan in mind. So far, he's managed to kill 3 drones and an Overlord, and he hasn't lost any units. That seems good, but you got to look at the hit points and realize, okay, well, that Oracle's not too useful from now on. I don't know where his 3rd Oracle is, actually. Looks like it's joining that one on the front. Clears up the watchtower. 4 more gateways on the way. Forge and Twilight have not started their upgrades just yet. Solar's playing very standard. He's just going for Roachhorn, gases, drones, by the way. We need to see what upgrades here happen for MAXPAX. Okay, it's going to be Blink. Okay, so he is playing Blink, but with a very heavy gateway unit early. I imagine he wants to push... Oh, he wants to push here. From this ledge and behind the gold minerals, and then you can always pull back up to this high ground. Oh, that's a really good area. Oracles drive by the natural and get 3 drones as well. You know what? He's up 6 workers. Even though there's gold, minerals, and gas mining, MAXPAX is doing pretty decent on the income. He's ahead on the minerals right now. His gas is pretty even. Oh, he's making a second forge. He's not going to push. He's going to play full macro. He's just going to look to overwhelm Solar in a macro game despite 6 mineral patches and a purple gas mining. Wow. Well, you know what? So many Protoss would overcommit to attacking this. Maybe that's why Solar played a bit safer than normal and why his work account's not that good. But he's got a 4th hatchery up at a very good time. And I think as long as he takes a quick 5th base as well, that sort of stuff, it'll be good. You got to remember the gold base mines out very quickly since it mines faster. So you've got to take extra hatcheries earlier to transfer those workers. Big shout out to Bullia, who's got a nice bit of news. According to Harstem, this is MAXPAX's favorite map in the pool, despite the gold base supposedly favoring Zerg. Very cool to hear that from Harstem. Interesting little tidbits from the pros. I'll have to ask MAXPAX about that. He's looking really solid so far. 3 drones go down, makes it 4. Zergling's going after the Nexus. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, no. That's going to be cancelled. Oh! I thought he waited too long, but he cancels it just at the last second. +1 armor's on the way, +2 attacks starts. Still on 4 gases and 6 gateways is MAXPAX. The delay on that 4th really hurts. Solar's just sitting on 60 drones, so Solar's going to do a big Ravager Ling Bane all-in, but his Baneling speed is kind of late. So I think he has to go now with just Roach Zergling and start looking for damage, because he's already so low on workers that he can't just wait and let MAXPAX catch up in army. He's got to go very soon. MAXPAX has a nice mobile army here. Ling's on the south, going to try and deny that base. Stasis Trap, the Oracle, and the Zealot should be able to defend it. Oracle turns on its laser beam. We'll clean up a few of those Zerglings. Good micro for Solar, though, to pull it back. Up in the middle of the map, we see a Bile in a very random position there. Queen's trying to respread creep. Roach Ravager Zergling going to try and push these Stalkers back. Stasis Trap gets that off on a few of those bad boys. Up in the main base, Zealots warping in. Charge is still 50 seconds from being done, so these slow Zealots ain't going to get much done. That's a, maybe I pulled the trigger on that one a little bit early. Hey, these Zealots are just left standing there. They're like, sir, did you mean to send us into combat without shoes? And he's like, yeah, that's my bad. Could we get recalled home? For 2 Zealots? Not worth it, buddy. Sorry. MAXPAX, a harsh yet pragmatic general. Hey, cute Stasis Trap. Gets a few of those units. Spots him coming as well. Oracle's coming back. It's Mass Stalker against an overwhelming Lingbane Ravager attack. So much Lingbane Roach Ravager, guys. And it's going to be hard for MAXPAX to hang on and defend. Solar is looking so committed. He's still on 61 drones, but he is using the income boost off that gold base to make a gigantic army. There's a cannon and a battery there. Oh my lord, the Zealots go in. Banelings blow those up. Zerglings surround them. Stalkers trying to micro their hearts out. The Double Forge does get a +1 armor there. +2 attack is not quite ready. These probes need to get out of there. They're running. But my god, that's so many Banelings, man. And Solar is all over it right now. Those probes are going to get destroyed for sure. The Stalkers on the south will eventually defend very efficiently, but oh no! The probes all get absolutely crushed. Now, to be fair, the battery didn't go down. All the Lingbane's gone. And how many Stalkers have died in this battle, guys? 9. 9 Stalkers is all that's gone down. There's a Zealot counterattack. Goes in and gets 2 drones there. Prism goes back in the main base as well. Okay, MAXPAX has a big mass of Stalkers. I think he held this okay. He lost only about 13 probes. That's not too bad. He's got a Zealot in the bottom denying the gold mining. Remember, Solar was only on 60 workers. They're still dead even on the workers. 3-2 is on the way. And I said, Solar, if he's going to stop on 60 drones, he needs to go right now. And he didn't. He waited another 2 minutes for Baneling speed to finish. And I think waiting for upgrades to finish has honestly been one of Solar's biggest issues in this matchup in the last series that I've seen from him and a few other Zergs is sometimes you think, oh, I can't attack without Baneling speed. And it seems that way. But I think sometimes it's more important to catch the Protoss before they're ready than it is to wait for your upgrades to all be perfect. And I would have loved to see half a Solar's army, or even just a section of units swarming from the bottom into these mineral lines, because that base is so exposed. And I really think he should have been able to hit this mineral line and that mineral line at the same time, and maybe try to breach the natural with some Zerglings, because that Stalker army had to retreat so far south to avoid being surrounded. Prism's still there, active in the back. Banelings running forward. Zealots split after it. Oh, those Zealots are doing really well. But those Banelings could still get in the mineral line. Get out of there. MAXPAX, get out of there. Oh, no. Okay. Luckily, one of those probes, Zealots probably killed a Baneling, sorry, I should say. A Zealot killed a Baneling just there. So he only lost 3 probes. 2 Zealots in over this side as well. MAXPAX attacking everywhere. This is MAXPAX's specialty in this matchup, fighting in many places at once. He's very good at doing this in PvT as well as just active Zealots all over the map. He really uses the Zealots to tax his opponents. And look at the upgrades. +2 melee. The Roaches are 0-0, and they're going to be fighting 3-2 Stalkers in a moment. These Roaches are worthless, guys. Right now, Solar is bringing muskets to a 21st century conflict. And that's a problem. MAXPAX has got night vision. He's got fully automatic modern weaponry. He's got artillery. He's got air cover. And Solar is like, well, we also have a chariot. It would have done well 2,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago. A chariot would really help you as long as you're fighting in an open field. Right now against this futuristic military, his time is up. He just cannot contest an army that is upgraded this well. It's looking so good. for MAXPAX. And the fact that he did this against the gold base this whole time was kind of staggering. On the other hand, I do think there was too big of a delay from Solar on the attack. Stasis traps. Oh, man. He's trying to get on top. If you get rid of the Colossus, that would be big. The Colossus is trying to fall back. The Oracle's turning on their laser beams, but he's chasing so far into Protoss territory. 3-2 is finished. These 0-0 Roaches and Ravagers are dying in droves, and it looks kind of good when you look at just one thing in isolation. Then you realize there's Zealots and Prisms still active. The Protoss is on 5 bases with 71 workers. Zerg is on 55. Solar has not built many drones this game. He's only lost 16 workers this whole game, and yet he's still only at 54, which is a tiny economy. And there's kind of a disconnect between trying to kill your opponent off a low economy and then also taking too long to make that kill move. It's hard to have confidence in this matchup against a guy like MAXPAX who's so good at defending, but you got to pick those fights very well. Nice Biles, gets a few Stalkers. With +3 armor coming in, that's going to be great. I'd love to see Plasma Shields as well, especially if there ends up being an Archon swap at any point in this game. Not the most important on Stalker Colossus, but it still definitely makes an impact. Ooh, okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Baneling. Baneling move going after the Stalker Colossus. Going after the Stalker Colossus. The Colossus gets boom-boomed. There's a new one out from behind it. This is all off single robo, by the way, so these Colossus can't really get rebuilt that well. You just look at the supply after these fights. There's these single-use Zerg units expending themselves to do this. The Prism is still ransacking that main base. Zealots running in from the low ground. Roaches and Ravagers getting shoved back. It's a clean game. I feel like if you let MAXPAX get to 4 base and start doing this Zealot multi-prong, he's so smooth with it. There's no F2. That Prism dancing around the main, never dying. The Spore Crawler never able to get rid of it for so long. Gets the double forge up, defends the big Ravagerling Bane portion. As much as that gold plus purple base seems imber, MAXPAX said, well, this map's so big, I've got so much room to pull back and defend. I actually feel good here. And wow, just shows how my expectations and a lot of players' expectations of that base being imber for Zerg versus Protoss maybe are wrong. All right. Up 2-1 in the top left, it's MAXPAX. He's going for the early blocky again. Can he get it? Oh, he gets it! Oh, Solar's not happy. He starts 2 drones only after getting blocked and goes to take a third. This opening is so bad for Solar. Oh, this is real garbage opening, guys. I feel like 15-15 pool is so rock solid. And then does 15-15 pool get blocked by that probe, though? There's no way that probe was there by 38 seconds, was it? I got to check the timings next time. Maybe the people watching live can remind me at the end of the game. But I just feel like this is an awkward position to be in for Solar. Good start for MAXPAX. So far, whoever's had the advantaged opening has done pretty well generally. Nexus goes down on 20. As always, you then mine 5 minerals. By the time you've mined those 5 minerals, you're at 150 minerals. This is a standard opening, guys. You can use this as a Protoss player. Cybercore, you then queue up 1 probe. As you can see, he's then going to grab this probe, one of these, build a second gas right about now. He's then going to queue up 1 more probe. It's going to take him to 22 supply. And he's going to go for a 22 pylon. That's your standard opening. You then say, I've got 16 on minerals, 3 on gas. So we rally this, and then the next probes, we go back to probe production non-stop now. Onto the gas, and then we rally to the natural. And when this is done, you chrono boost an adept. Very standard opening. It's complicated by the fact that MAXPAX is constantly mineral harassing during that. Was having a bit of a skirmish, which is why his probe is so damaged. But if you're just starting out, you definitely don't want to do things like that mineral harass. You want to make sure you're a bit more focused on the whole picture. Now, Warp Gate starts up, which indicates a non-Stargate opening, but he cancels it, makes the Stargate, and Solar sees that that's not spinning. So Solar knows for sure, okay, it's a Stargate opening, and we will see in a moment that that's going to start spinning again, but it's going to be very, very delayed. He's queued up the second adept, chrono boosted it, and that Warp Gate now starts. You can see the circle starts spinning as the upgrade starts going. It's a medium-sized map site, Delta. Got some decent push paths. Solar has taken a front third hatchery, which, especially if he breaks those rocks to the left, gives him a pretty stiff Roach Queen push timing. Oh, watch out, Solar. He's going to have to Spore Trick it. He doesn't manage to Spore Trick it in time. MAXPAX gets himself an easy kill. Bit of a mistake there for Solar with the Queen positioning. Should have already been on top of that. Now the Zergling gets in the main. He doesn't even check for the Stargate. He's happy to just interrupt the mining. Sees the Oracle now building, and the Adept's coming in. Oh no! Solar attacks his own drone! The Adepts are like, wait, are you on our side? The Zerglings change their mind and remember whose side they're fighting for. 3 drones have gone down in this early game. This is a disaster. Oh, very, very unfortunate defense for Solar. Off of already having his 3rd base delayed. This is a great start for MAXPAX. This is where you can sometimes start to see things spiral out of control in this matchup. And if we see MAXPAX just kill him with a 3-base blink push or something like that, we're going to be thinking back to this early game. Nexus goes up at 3 minutes 50. First Oracle snaking its way down that right side of the map. Will the Overlord see it? Yes, it will. It's going to fly in between these bases and look for the openings. Queen moves to the right side. And just grabs itself a lava. Not a bad pickoff. Oh, there's no Spore in the main. And the second Queen's not out yet. Oh, not the best focus fire there. Only gets a drone and a lava. Adept in the natural looking reasonably solid. Does pick off a few of these Adepts. Or Zerglings, I should say. And the units lost tab. 1 Adept died this game. 4 drones, 7 Zerglings. Great opening trades here for MAXPAX, who's got 2 Oracles out, 3rd on the way. 3rd and 4th gas is now up. We expect a Twilight and a Forge. It's the standard next step. Baneling Nest goes down. Solar's going all in. Yeah, he's making nothing but... Okay, guys, Solar knows he's behind. And he says, who's the king of making comebacks? Dark. If I can just make a ton of randomling Bane and surprise him, I can still win the game. I've seen Dark do this 1,000 times. Maybe I can do it too. It's not Solar's specialty, but it's a very decent build if you could pull it off. An Oracle comes in. He does see Zerglings popping out. Okay, I don't know if MAXPAX spotted those Zerglings. The thing is, if you realize this is happening, it's so easy to defend. Solar has to hide what he's doing right now. This is why I've got MAXPAX camera vision, because notice these Zerglings. He's hiding some there. He's going to run in with a bit of a backstab, trying to be disruptive. Trying to keep MAXPAX busy so that MAXPAX doesn't scout the mass lane coming out at home. He grabs 1 probe. He's going to grab another one. That's like 3 probes. Not bad, man. These Adepts going to come in. The Lings are on top of it, as are the Queens. And, oh, the Queens actually block the Lings, so he will lose a few drones. But you want all these units on defense right now, trying to go to 6 gateways. An Adept left sticking out. Oh, God. That's another Adept going down. MAXPAX is wasting units right now. His 3rd is open right now. And you don't want to be turning on these Oracle lasers so early. Here comes the Massling Bane, dude. The Oracle's going to try and turn those lasers off again, but he needs to turn all of the lasers on. The battery is almost here. The probes do trap some of those Lings, which is pretty nice, but the natural wall could get breached as well. He needs a Sentry Warp in right now. Baneling's going for that 3rd base. Oracles are doing very well. New Oracles are building. And obviously, yeah, the pylon going down would be key. Solar, he's not really getting the surface area. Finally depowers it. Does he have enough Lings to overwhelm? He's down 16 workers. Overwhelming the base is not really enough damage, but these probes, if he gets all the probes as well, that could be great. Another Oracle comes down. Lots of workers falling. If MAXPAX keeps the base alive, he's still in this game. But right now, those Stalkers are in trouble. Oh, they all get surrounded in the open. MAXPAX needed to pull back into this little alleyway. He was a little bit too slow to do it. His Oracles run out of energy. And Solar falls massively behind. Completely botches his early game. And he says, we're not winning this game with standard play. He says, I got to take a big gamble. He rolls the dice on a surprise mass Ling Bane Assault, and it catches MAXPAX off guard. MAXPAX has got to be absolutely frustrated at this point. He's got to be so angry because he knows he was ahead in this game. These are the games where you can afford to be a little bit safer, where you don't need to keep throwing Adepts into the meat grinder. But throwing those Adepts away, getting this Adept surrounded out, really made it so much harder to defend. Solar brings out the Dark strategy and makes it look very, very good. Now, MAXPAX, is he just going to do a 2-bit? And the Overlord still sees everything as well. He never got rid of this Overlord. Stalkers and Oracles basically have to counter pressure right now, but 9 Stalkers and 4 Oracles, it's going to be tough to overwhelm the Zergon. 58 drones, building a Hydroden, building a +1 melee upgrade, and of course making a lot of units. Zerglings do get intercepted on their way across the map, but quick reaction for Solar only loses 2 of them. Zerglings running around the north. They're going to come in from the 3rd. Oracle is there with plenty of energy, but just sets off the energy and then pulls back. Hydras are on the way here as well. Going to have to set off the stasis trap. Gets it set off as he dies. Nice Zergling there. Queens and Lings going to make it hard for MAXPAX to get great value. More Lings coming in on that base. If they can surround the Stalkers, that'll be very effective. Stalkers are in the open. They've got Blink. Do Blink back to the choke point. Good micro for MAXPAX. Stalkers kind of suck at fighting Zerglings, though, so they will take some damage. Oracle has to go back and defend. Stalkers on the front here, getting surrounded a little bit. And they do clean up a lot of these Zerglings. I gotta say, he's microing very well. But he's still down 10 workers. He kind of needs to kill this 4th base. But uh-oh, Stalkers are starting to fall to the Hydras and the Queens. The Lings get stasis trapped. But is that really enough? I don't know. There's no forward warp-in point. Oracles are joining in on the front here. Stalkers trying to kill a few Queens. One of them does go down. You got to be very careful. Whenever that Blink's not ready, you can just lose a lot of those Stalkers. The Stalkers are so wounded, I think he needs to pull back. I think it's got to be about efficiency for MAXPAX, but every Stalker he loses ruins that efficiency chance. Zerglings on the top once again. Run straight past the Nexus. Looks like a little bit of an F2 there, I got to say, for Solar. MAXPAX as well left nothing at home, so kind of lucky for him that is the case. +1 armor comes in. It's the cheaper, quicker upgrade than +2 attack, so not a bad idea. It also really helps against Lings and Hydras, units that do high, frequent damage. Ling Bane coming in. Baneling speed's almost here. How do you defend this with just 19 Stalkers and 2 Sentries? I don't know, a Sentry in the natural seems like it would be essential. Stalkers are out in the open. Link's coming in from that left side. Banelings and Hydras from the right. His army doesn't seem particularly ready to engage. There's no movement speed for these Hydras yet. But it doesn't matter when you've got numbers like this. Solar says, no, it does not. Baneling's going after the battery, trying to get into the middle of the Stalkers. They clear the battery overcharge. The Hydras are here. MAXPAX taking a pretty impressive defense, I gotta say. Dude, if he can hold on here, this would be absolutely wild. MAXPAX, Stalker count outnumbered, outgunned, trying to hang on. But it looks like they just don't quite have the numbers and the stats to hold here. The Hydra's coming forward. The Oracles keep thinking about engaging, but they really can't do it. They don't have enough energy. Only one of them can turn on its laser. It gets shot down instantly, and just like that, Solar takes us to Game 5. All right, gang, going into Game 5, MAXPAX once again going for an insanely early scout. And to be fair, this is early enough to block a 15-15, guys. So you would actually need to go 14 hatchery before Overlord to ensure you get this hatchery down. And to be fair, I think if you just it's basically a 15-15, but you don't do the first extractor trick. I think that beats MAXPAX build. I think it's just better than it, and I think that's exactly what Sarah would do here. Solar does turn around and get it on location, which is actually pretty gambly, but cute, gets away with it. It is delayed by a good 10 seconds from a normal 16 hatchery. So Solar's build is not great in terms of the details of the timing of that hatchery. The Queen will be delayed a good 8 seconds, but guess what? 8 or 10 seconds, I should say, actually. But it's on location, so it's much easier to defend from adepts. There was a question in chat about a proxy Void Ray build. I don't really have any info on it, but shout out to Zyad for trying to answer that question. I have not done a proxy Void Ray in a long time. There's some very cool proxy Tempest builds out there. I know Trigger has a dirty proxy Tempest build on Radhusat Station. Notice we didn't see that in this series, and I'm pretty sure it's because Solar vetoed it. There's a build where you could take the gold base and then proxy a Stargate down there and siege from behind their natural while mining their gold base with Tempest. It's disgusting. No chance of seeing that here on Hecate. Interestingly, that Alcyon actually got vetoed in this series. We did finally settle on the pronunciation of Alcyon with the pronunciation that I've been told is most common in the astronomical community. Also sounds the best, I think, compared to like Alcyone or anything like that, or Alcyon. Yeah, shout out to Fenrak, who's the one who actually let me know about that Tempest build. I went and found the video of Trigger doing it to him. If I get a few replays off Trigger and anyone else doing it, I'll definitely do a video covering that. But I haven't actually got my hands on those replays just yet. For now, this is very standard openings. Very just economically focused. Notice MAXPAX is like double chronoing probes right now. And it's just an adept is purely defensive. So he's not being aggressive. He's just going to put more chronos into probes, build his work account faster. So this is an economic arms race. Who can play the smoother, more efficient opening? To be fair, this Overlord feels a little late here for Solar. Does have a few lava banked up, but very quick to spend that the moment he does get on supply blocked. His creep spread's great. very early on getting these tumors out, which is awesome. And this Overlord is not a safe pillar, guys. I've been saying this for a while. MAXPAX, the first player who actually puts the Adept on the high ground to get rid of it. I'm surprised that a lot of players I haven't seen doing this. It's like they forgot Jagannatha was the last map where we had this mechanic where the pillar is safe until they put a non-worker unit on the high ground. A worker unit I don't think has enough sight range to spot it, but the other units do. Oracle does save the probe. Nicely done. Stalker barely got the Overlord as well. I thought that Overlord was going to survive for a little bit longer. That actually causes a supply block. Solar needs to build another Overlord. I guess his third hatchery finishes and gives him a little bit of extra supply though, so that helps out. Alright, Adepts are doing pretty good. Oracle goes in on the other side. Looks like it doesn't kill anything. It has a kill, but that was a Zergling on its side of the map earlier. Third and fourth gas goes down just past 4 minutes. Extra pylon, and then the Twilight and the Forge will go up probably about 4:45, maybe 4:30. Oracle's looking for an opening, but the Queens are here, and a nice quick Spore Trick goes down. Denying damage, man. Losing 3 Zerglings and an Overlord only, it's a very good start. It's time to build that Twilight and that Forge now. MAXPAX still hasn't gone for it. It's warping in a few more Adepts. He's got 2 Adepts hiding on the left, 2 there on the third base. The Twilight Forge drops at 4:42. Only 2 Oracles are out, but the third one is popping just at home, and that's going to come out as well. Great defense by Solar. Oh man, MAXPAX doesn't even get a single drone there. He misfires on those Oracles. But Adept's coming in from the third. Zergling's nowhere to be seen. Oh, good Spore Trick. Good Spore Trick. Only loses 2 drones. And for 2 Adepts, that's great. Good trade for Solar. Oh, sorry, I started sneezing there and I was like trying to observe while violently sneezing. I was like, follow the Oracle. 4 more gateways are on the way. We're going up to 6 gateways, a Twilight and a Forge. Gonna be starting Blink and +1. Okay, so a very standard Blink opening for MAXPAX. He's favored double Forge in this series so far. Will we see it again? I wouldn't mind it. I normally don't like it, but on a big map like this and with how good his defense has looked, I think if anyone's going to do it, it's definitely him that I'd be confident with pulling it off. 10 drones are on the way. Solar is droning hard, but he's been behind on workers, only overtaking the Protoss at 6 minutes, and that's pretty late. Indeed, the double Forge does go down for MAXPAX into a Robo as well. Depths on the right, Oracle on the left. Still killing very few drones this game, 4 in total. Oracle gets deflected. Adepts are going to shade in, and they should absolutely cancel that shade. He doesn't realize the Lings are just waiting for him. Looks like he got a single drone there, but once again, for 2 Adepts, these are bad trades. 4th base going up at 6 minutes, though. Very early 4th base. Baneling Nest coming in. Looking for just +2 melee. Ravagerling Bane. Seems like Zerg's still loving this style. People in the chat are commenting on the map. This map truly is beautiful. This is my favorite part over here. This tree is just absolutely stunning. Looks kind of dead, but it's got that growth on it from like the flowers and stuff. It's definitely aesthetically one of my favorite maps in the pool. Zergling's going to run around to the left side. Stalkers are pushing them back there. Hydra Den. Okay, so there's a Hydra Den on the way. Are we just going to play... No roaches? There's no roach speed? He's going to try and play a Hydraling Bane. Interesting. I actually think Infestors into Quick Hive with Roachling is way better. I think Hydra Baneling is not a great style, but we'll see how he plays it. Stalkers are getting surrounded. Oracle's trying to pull back. I think Hydras are best as a surprise timing attack or to counter very specific builds. So I don't have faith in them generally because I still feel even though the upgrades are a little faster, they still take a while to get going. The move speed upgrade you can see is about 21 seconds faster. And the range upgrade, the movement speed upgrade is also slightly quicker. So you can get your upgrades about 30 seconds faster on those Hydras. And to be fair, they can do pretty well versus Zealot Stalker, but you need to have a decent economy. And right now, these economies are dangerously close. And with really good Blink Stalker micro, I'm worried that MAXPAX can out-micro those Hydralisks and let those shields just regen energy over and over again. Stasis traps are there, though. It's still an explosive position. Either side could get out of control. Baneling's morphing in the craziest spot ever. Solar! The balls on this kid. Okay, Stalker's going to try and fall back from the Ling Hydra. The Banelings are coming in on the other side. Baneling speed is not ready. Those Banelings are going to try and walk forward. but the Stalker warp in will stop it. They only get a cannon and a probe. A very good trade there for MAXPAX. Still on 72 workers versus 73 drones. Double Robo Colossus is very popular these days, and it destroys Hydraling Bane play. But MAXPAX is only going for a single Robo Bay right now. So he's going to try and get those Colossus out one at a time like he did on Equilibrium. And that makes sense because he's got double Forge and it's very gas heavy to be making those double upgrades. He does need to start his +2 armor. But he's very busy on the map right now. Hydraling Bane coming through the middle. He's got to rotate around the left. I don't think fighting on this bridge is great for MAXPAX. Notice the Hydras have a decent concave. The Lings are also buffering. Oh god, MAXPAX might be in trouble right now. He's trying to fight on that bridge, but it's not an effective fight. And I think Solar might be able to overwhelm here. Okay, the Ling Bane Hydra can roll in. If he can get the Banelings in the middle line, that'll be a problem. MAXPAX already preemptively trying to get his probes out of there. He does manage to get a few out, but 6 of them do get taken out by the Banelings. That battery overcharge bought a lot of time. He's got to be careful. His Banelings are gone. Solar may be overextending. His Hydras are stuck on the other side of the map. He needs to get out of here right now. He forced a defensive blink. He needs to run because killing the Nexus seems good, but if he loses these Hydras, it's going to be a disaster. Solar may be overcommitting right now. Notice the Stalkers aren't really dying. He doesn't get the Nexus. I think pulling back is the better move. I think this is the absolute right move for Solar to retreat here, because if he gets run down and those Hydras go down, they're fragile, expensive units. Zealot comes in on the right side. MAXPAX starting a counterattack. At the end of the day, units lost tab. 2,000 resources in favor of MAXPAX and equal workers on both sides. Bad position to be in for Solar. It looked promising for a moment, but because he didn't kill all the probes or the Nexus, it was a big issue. That battery in the mineral line actually bought MAXPAX a lot of time. And now he's got Zealots on the left, Prism on the right, Stalkers in the middle, and he's got his first Colossus about to hit the field. Not to mention +3 attack and +2 armor. Zealots evacuate. They go in there and evict those drones from the far top left base. The Lings are quick to respond and deal with them, but the Zealots warping in the main as well. Stalkers moving forward in the middle. The creep spread has been fantastic in the middle for Solar. The Stalkers are going to try and push that back. Oh, Prism gets pushed forward into the Spore by the Queens from the low ground base. Does end up dying there. Stalkers are gaining a little bit of map control in the middle, but actually a lot of these Zealots getting cleaned up quite efficiently. I like the way Solar's handling things. Stasis Trap, though, does clean him up on that left side. Stasis Traps everywhere. Keeping these Oracles alive, giving crazy value. There's no extended Thermal Lance, but just having the Colossus mixed in to deal with Zerglings is so good. And remember the upgrade differential. It's been single Evo versus double Evo this whole time. There's no fungal to deal with the Stalkers or anything like that. I think in a 4-base versus 4-base scenario, I think fungal roaches is something I prefer to see over the Hydras much more in this matchup. I really do think the fungal is such a game-winning ability we're not seeing mixed into this matchup very much yet. Ling's coming from the left. Nice surround. Colossus should be getting focused down. The Colossus goes down. Nice move there for Solar. Was that 2 Colossus he killed? Just 1. 1 Colossus rallies in from the right. Oh no. Rando Calrissian, the Colossus on the far right side. The Banelings take out the battery. Solar might just have the numbers. Stalker's damage sucks. But there's no Banelings left, which means Zealots can now warp in and join the fray. Zealots are a very good unit. That Colossus on the top right is on 20 kills. It's actually doing well. I can't believe it. He's microing it in the midst of this as well. He stutter stepped it just then. It goes down finally to that Hydralisk, but not before getting 24 kills. But he hasn't done enough damage. His work account was suffering. He has to tap out. Let's explain that position at the very end of that game. If we rewind a few seconds, notice there was Zealots that had just killed 4 drones there. He just lost his hatchery in the top left. So he's back to 3 bases with workers. He's got a 4th hatchery, but no one mining on it. He's up against a Protoss on 4 full bases with a 5th about to finish. And Protoss is at 2-2 upgrades versus 2-1 with a +3 almost finished. He's got a tech advantage, he's got an upgrade advantage, and an economy advantage. There was no coming back from here. Solar has to tap out. The Hydralisk play doesn't work for him here on Hecate. Maybe the choke point's a little bit too much. Very well played by MAXPAX, though. He wins a very close series, and he ties it up 2-2 between Korea and the world.